a lot of people have had is, did she think David Bisard was drunk that day? And she says, yes, since the very day it happened. Every cop on the scene said they had no idea Bisard was drinking. She says when she saw how fast Bisard was going, how he didn't swerve to an open lane to avoid them, how he didn't get out of his car to help, the only logical conclusion was he was drunk. She's important because she's an eyewitness with no connection to anyone. It's all what she saw. Her name is Samantha Daniels. She didn't want her face identified because she frankly doesn't want people to know who she is. She hasn't told many what she saw, though. Tonight, she's telling you. It's the event that's dominated the news cycle ever since. She saw Eric Wells that day on his motorcycle heading to lunch when
he literally flew off of his motorcycle. Flew.
At the intersection, a memorial notes that something bad happened here. On that Friday, she just pulled in. It started a light before on 56th.
As I was coming through the yellow light, I felt kind of weird because I very rarely do that, but something inside of me told me to.
Instinct had her run a yellow and change lanes, had she not.
It would have been me and my girls. Me and my girls.
It wasn't. It was Eric Wells, died on scene. 2 others initially critically injured. Bisard was over-responding to a warrant call that day. Sirens on, police say. Did you hear sirens?
I don't remember hearing any sirens at all. The only thing that I remember hearing is a loud motor and metal to metal. The speed that he was going was ridiculous.
She waited there for 10 minutes. At any point in time, did you see Officer Bisard get out of his car and offer any help?
No.
Did you think he was drunk?
When I actually sat down and analyzed it, to be honest, the way that he hit them, I do. If there was no distractions, there's no other thing that he could have been but drunk.
You thought that day?
That day. That day.
Test results show that Bisard was more than twice the legal limit drunk, tossed because of a technicality.
I sat there and I tried to think to myself, well, why couldn't he have got over to the left? He could have got over to the right.
She says the left turn lane was open, the right lane was open, but he hit the bikers. She still thinks about the biker who died there. He'd later have a name. She now calls him by his name.
Eric was still laying there. Miss Mary, they had...
You speak about him almost as if you know him.
I felt like I did. I felt like I did. I felt like he was one of my family members. That's how I felt, just to see him laying there, you know, and it hurt. It really, really hurt. And in today's claim, there are 18 individuals named as persons involved, everyone from the deceased Eric Wells to the police chief. Miss Daniels is one of 2 eyewitnesses whose only connection is what they saw. Eric.